Let's do a get ready while we talk about where I've been and what I've been up to for the last 6 months. And I also have a bunch of PR, which is crazy. So I have some new makeup I'm sharing with you. We're actually getting ready to go straight to bed after this. The only time I have to film is at nighttime, but we're gonna do a get ready with me because I feel like talking and doing some makeup. I'm only gonna talk about the new products today, so everything else I'm just gonna throw on my face and I'll list down below for you guys in the description box. So not that I feel like I've been super consistent with posting, but I definitely feel like I fell off the face of the earth in the last 6 months and I barely posted, and that's due to the fact that I've been working on some really big things in my life. If you don't know, I am married and I have a couple kids who are really little, and so we've been going through a lot of adjustments in the last couple years. I feel like I've been either pregnant or in postpartum or breastfeeding in the last 4 years. And then, trying to figure out how to run my freelance business and make content. So needless to say, it has been a lot. Just with like motherhood, you get pushed to your absolute edge. It is the greatest challenge you will ever have. It is the most beautiful thing you will ever do. As you can imagine, parenthood brings a lot of challenges and it pushes you to your edge, and you have to step up and figure out how to do things better. So there were some things that I had to focus on in really all of these past 4 years, things that I feel like I should have been working on in the last 10 years, but because I wasn't pushed or challenged, I didn't really feel the need to. I was kind of hiding from them. The biggest things being my lack of consistency and discipline in literally everything. Before I had kids, I had no real routine. Like, I would go to work, and then when I would come home, I kind of just did whatever came to me, and it made me really unmotivated, and I wasn't ambitious at all in life. I did grow up with a lot of anxiety and depression, and I think that is a very common theme among young people and especially women and young women. But the thing is, I know that my anxiety and depression and lack of motivation and everything was not rooted in any diagnosis. And I know this because in times of my life when I put my mind to it and when I am pushed, I get my butt into gear and I show up. And so I knew that whatever it was, for me, the most important thing was that I put my everything into trying to work on it in the most natural way possible and doing all the right things that you're supposed to do first before going to anything else. And it really affected my parenting because you can make all the plans that you want to make in the world for when you have children and how you want to raise them. But if you're not already living with those values and have that level of discipline in place, it is not going to magically happen when your kids come, because things are much harder and there's a ton more pressure when your children are here, and you will fail more intensely and you will feel the failure more intensely as well. And I was just not creating a solid routine or discipline for myself or for my kids and my family, and it made me really sad and made me afraid for their future. Okay, let's talk about new products for a second. One of the really awesome things that's been happening over the last 6 months is that I started to receive a bunch of PR from brands, which was crazy. Like, I've received small things from small brands here and there over a couple of years, but this year I started to receive PR from big brands, which was so freaking exciting. So there was a bunch of things that I got that I made a lot of like Instagram and TikTok videos on because they were easier to make. So if you guys want to check out all the amazing stuff that I've been receiving and reviewing, go follow me on TikTok and Instagram because I post on there at least 4 or 5 days a week, so there's way more new content. One of the coolest things that I received was this giant package from Maybelline, NYX, and Essie. Now, I've had this for a while, so it's a bit of a mess inside, but here is everything that it came with. So I received all the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer and blush shades, the Sunkisser blushes, the lifter liners, NYX fat oil, Essie nail polish, brow glue, which was absolutely fantastic and I used up already, NYX Epic ink pens, and some new NYX brow pencils. So it's been a wild dream come true. Like, I've been creating content more for the last few years, and I didn't think that I would be here this quickly. I mean, at least the years have seem like they've passed really fast, but obviously thanks to all of you guys subscribing and engaging with my content. This is the reason why it happens. So of course I'm grateful to the brands. I'm more grateful to you guys because cliche as it is to say, this wouldn't exist without you. You guys hype me up and encourage me regularly, so I'm so grateful for that, and it is the thing that keeps me going and encourages me to keep making content. So I'm going to start off with a bunch of these Sunkisser blushes. I used this like deep red shade when I was on vacation and it's absolutely stunning, but today I think I'm going to use, if you can see with my pinky, this one today. So this one is Downtown Rush. It looks pretty light, but I have tried this on once and it's actually really pretty on. I normally wouldn't just put a glob on my face like this, but I wasn't thinking, so whatever. So these are super lightweight and sheer, but they still give a really lovely color. And this one's kind of like a really soft, peachy, dusty rose color. This actually works really well when I'm in my normal skin tone, but I did get a little bit tan in the last week because it's been super sunny here. So I'm gonna try and build that up. But even if it doesn't, I have a couple other options that we can go in with later. But I mean, I don't really need to do too much here. I'm just going to bed after. So maybe let's just leave it with this. But yeah, that is a really soft shade. This is gonna look great for those light to light medium skin tones. Back to a little bit of the PR stuff. So brands have been reaching out to me a lot more to offer PR or to offer to collaborate, which has been so cool and a really fun experience to be able to be creative in a different way. So up until December, I really wasn't creating or posting that much content because I went off on a tangent, but as I was saying before, I've been working on a lot of things and building my discipline and consistency in a lot of areas, and so I just haven't had the time, and I would be so exhausted every single afternoon and every single night that any time I would have to just sit down and film, I couldn't. I was mentally burnt out and I didn't have energy and I just needed to rest. But during that time, the packages just kept coming, and it's not like it was an excessive amount, but it was a lot for me. It was maybe like 2 to 3 packages a month. And then of course you guys were leaving comments here and there, still asking questions about makeup and content, and I was so amazed and grateful at the support and the kindness that I was receiving from you guys and the brands trusting me to work together and talk about their products, that I felt like I kind of had to live up to everything that I was receiving because I honestly didn't feel like I deserved it because I just wasn't putting any effort into creating content. So I decided that starting in the new year that I would dedicate myself into attempting to create more regular content. Now, I did have a YouTube video with all the PR stuff filmed back in like December, but I had so much issues with my editing app and it crashing and my video not working that I just like gave up for a while. And then it happened with another video, and then I had to wait like another few weeks to figure that out. But I finally got a video up again a few weeks ago, which was a Dior backstage comparison video with the old and the new formulation. As of the last couple months, I've been creating, at least on Instagram and TikTok, content at least 4 or 5 days a week, which has been an amazing experience. And I really challenged myself and I realized that I can do it. It is a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. Before I ramble on more, let's move on to the next products. Next one that I fell in love with was the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. This is in the shade Deserve Butta. I don't know if you're able to tell the true tone closer to my face, but that's the shade. It's described as like a light medium neutral shade. I'm gonna go in with my BK Beauty 111 brush. BK Beauty was another brand that sent me a bunch of their brushes to try, which was an absolute dream come true because I've wanted to try their brushes for years. Like, I followed Lisa J and Nikki LaRose and Angie Hot and Flashy on YouTube for years, and to be able to receive these brush sets that were created by the people that I have been learning from on YouTube for like the last decade is incredible. And they're such amazing quality brushes. They are really a staple among pro makeup artists and just beauty enthusiasts. I love the shade. It is the perfect kind of neutral bronze shade for my skin tone. I don't like anything too warm or too cool. These bronzers are very pigmented, so I'm just taking a little bit and building it up, and that's why I really love this like big fluffier brush for this. And they blend in so beautifully. They truly are like butter, and they do have that like sort of tropically scent, a little bit reminiscent of the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzers. That's the color. I love it so much. I don't remember where I left off. I think I was talking about how I've been posting consistently, and then I wanted to say that the reason that I was even able to get to that point of challenging myself in that area is because I spent the 6 months before that doing all the work and becoming more disciplined. The areas that I was really working on was obviously with my kids, our daily routine. I'm mostly a stay-at-home mom, and so we've never sent our kids to daycare. So we've had to figure out a really solid routine for them to have at home, because before every day was just like up in the air. And I think that just comes along with once you develop anxiety and depression. Like, I don't think I've really dealt with intense anxiety and depression for a long time, like many years, but it creeped back, especially as my kids were getting a little bit older, like older toddlers. And I was like, what am I doing to enrich their lives and teach them? And I feel like I'm constantly stressed or getting angry at them, or just like, I don't have energy or motivation to get them to do fun things. So I started to put this routine together. It was hard at first. I kind of felt like I was drowning and I didn't know what to do. But the amazing thing about deciding to shift your mindset, and I know that's such a cliche thing, it's really like changing your perspective. And when you change your perspective and begin to adopt a new mindset. Okay, so most of you don't know that I am Christian. I believe in Jesus, and one of the things in the Bible that we talk about a lot is renewing of the mind, and a constant renewing of the mind. When you're having disruptive bad thoughts, you can change it. You can renew those thoughts. So I was really working on that and changing the way that I thought about things. And it's not like it's a magic thing that happens that changes your life. It is something that you actively have to do through the day, every single day. The way that I dealt with it was, if the morning got away from us and didn't go according to plan, I would have a mindset of, okay, let's reset and start over where we need to be at this time of the day. And I would just keep resetting through the day. Then I realized that doing that reset and doing that renewal of my mind through the day helped me to not completely throw away the day. Because before, if things weren't going right in one part of the day, I would just write off the whole day. And then I would have lost that entire day or week. But now when things go wrong, the other thing you do is develop a problem-solving approach. And this part I learned from my husband. My husband is the most amazing problem solver. He might get frustrated, but there's nothing in life that he is not willing to face and figure out, and I just love him for that, and I've learned so much from him, and it really inspired me to start doing the same thing. And that really helped, because you can't control every aspect of your life, and especially when you have children, life doesn't look the same day to day or month to month. But anyway, I just focused on trying to have like a rough routine through the day, and we started off with trying to get like our morning routine down, and then once our morning routine was down, then I focused on getting the afternoon routine down. And then even within that, there were little things like, what meals are we gonna have at whatever meal time? My gosh, until you have a family and you're cooking for multiple people every single day, you don't realize that just meal planning and cooking alone is like a full-time job. Obviously, there are smarter ways to do it, which I am trying to work on right now, which is meal prepping like a couple days of the week. But again, I'm trying to tackle one thing at a time, so I'm not there yet. So even just like figuring out what we're gonna eat, how we're gonna eat healthy, that my kids are not just getting like weird snacks and they're having healthier foods, or a balanced diet, not watching too much TV, being able to go out and do more fun things. So every single day I would challenge myself to do a little bit better, and even if I failed, and I failed a million times, the most important thing is that you just keep getting back up and you keep doing the thing. And if you do, it's absolutely inevitable that things will begin to improve and things will begin to get better. And I just had to be patient with the process, because my mindset used to be that if I didn't see results or progress like very quickly, then I would get unmotivated and I wouldn't follow through. So I want to take a break to show you guys. Obviously, I have all the NYX blushes. These are just 5 of them because I'm afraid I'm gonna break them if I try to hold all of them. Let me show you the other ones. Here are the other 5. I do want to remind you guys here now to go and follow me on Instagram and TikTok, because I have posted swatches of all those colors on my Instagram and TikTok. I'll probably be doing like a swatches on my face of all those colors soon, so stay tuned for that. The shade that I'm gonna go for today is this one. It is soft mauve. My 2 favorite colors actually are this one, which is my Butta half, which is like this vibrant baby doll pink that I used every single day of my vacation last year. And the other one is this All the Butter shade, which looks insane, but I promise you looks so stunning. Once it's on the face, it does not look this intense on the face. But today I am going to use Soft Mauve. These are also very, very pigmented. They are pretty much the same texture as the Buttermelt bronzers, just as pigmented, just as soft, and they have a beautiful, not completely matte, but a satin finish. But not all of the blushes are a satin matte. Some of them are shimmery, so you can go check out those shades. But isn't that a stunning color? And I barely picked up any blush from the pan, and it still built up a beautiful amount of pigment. So as I was saying before, I think you kind of get the idea of all the little things that I was trying to work on every single day and just setting small things to get better at every single month, and things did get better. And the other great thing about that is it really builds your self-esteem and your confidence, because you realize that you are absolutely capable. One of the things that I was scared of for a long time is like, what am I gonna do if it's just me? Like, I'm gonna be helpless and I'm not gonna be able to take care of my life. But obviously that's not true at all, because when you are put in that situation, you can do it. So when you do challenge yourself, you're going to start feeling that sense of worth and confidence really, really quick. And I feel like a very different person now than when I was 6 months ago. Now I'm getting to create regular content, and I'm really in the groove of things and enjoying it and not freaking out or really stressed out. Obviously, the days are still crazy and busy, but it feels more like an adventure now and not as daunting to face all these things. So apart from just that personal growth area, the other sort of new thing, and I don't know if I've like really formally announced this, is that I am slowly phasing out of my freelance work for many, many reasons. Probably the biggest one is that I started doing makeup and freelance for clients right after I got married, way before I had children. And I had a lot more time and freedom to just leave the house and like go do the stuff. And then every time I would get a job in the recent years, I would be away from the home, and it would often just be on weekends with early start times. And when you have little kids and a family and you're busy through the week, the weekends are really precious times, and you're never gonna get this time back. And I started to really feel the stress and the loss of spending time away from my family when I was working with clients. It would be a different story if everyone had their own things to do during the week, but that's not the case. And then the travel and sitting in traffic while you're going to a job and just wasting so much time. And I just quickly started to feel like every time I'd go to a job, it was like really what I was earning was not even close to worth the trouble I was going through to get to the bookings and set up childcare. And I also don't drive, so figuring out a ride to the bookings and back, I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I started to dread every time I would get a booking or have to go to a booking. But I didn't quit yet, and I wasn't thinking of getting out of it yet, because I really didn't have anything else to move on to. And then over the last few months, I started to actually receive like small partnerships and jobs from brands, and just through social media, I realized that, okay, if I am barely putting any work into it right now, and I'm starting to get jobs, then when I do start putting work into it, it's gonna be even better. My dream right now, and the thing that I want a lot, that I've been praying for and that I've been hoping for many years, is that I would be able to figure out something that I can do from home, like work that I can do from home, so that I could be home with my family. And then, you know, this thing grew and it started to bring results, and it gave me hope that there's something else that I could build that would allow me to do this. I paused for the next product. There were a few PR packages that I received that completely blew me away. Like, I was like, did you guys make a mistake? Why are you sending me this? But one of them was Giorgio Armani. It is their new Luminous Silk Acqua highlighter. Isn't that the most stunning thing ever? I received this in 2 shades. I did post the swatches of these on my Instagram and TikTok, so go over there to see it. This is in the shade 2, which is like the champagne-y shade. Not that my face needs more glow right now, but I just want to show you guys what this looks like. This is such a beautiful, like, refined wet glow. It doesn't have any like weird glitteriness in it at all. I would certainly recommend blending this not over powder. I mean, it's blending pretty well over my powder. I totally forgot that I had this. and didn't mean to put powder on beforehand. There is the glow. It is so stunning. And yeah, you can't see any weird like chunkiness or glitter. It's just the most beautiful, smooth, refined glow. I'm not really much of a highlighter person these days because I just kind of got rid of all my super glowy, shimmery highlighters. I am all for this grown woman refined glow. As I was saying, I really felt like my prayers were answered in this area and that I was able to find this thing that I can do where I can stay home with my kids and do work that I still love and enjoy in the beauty space and with makeup and makeup education, and still getting to work with clients but in a different way. And since I've been doing that, I've just had so much more time for my kids, and I'm not stressed out when I do this work or filming or editing, and it's just something that I'm enjoying so thoroughly. I don't know if I'll completely phase out doing makeup on clients because I still really love it, but it might be not as prevalent until I have more time in my life and the kids are older. And also I might just still make some time for it depending on who it is. Maybe just do it for close friends for the time being, but I don't know. I haven't fully decided yet. Over the past few months, I received a couple mascaras from Lancome. They sent me their original Lash Idole mascara, and I also received their brand new Idole Flutter Extension mascara. This one has become my new holy grail mascara. I've had this on my wish list for ages, and I talked about this in my last video. It's beautiful, so I'm going to use this today and show you guys. So needless to say, I will be around a lot more, and I mean it this time, because this is something that I actually consider my work right now, and I'm really excited to see how it grows and where it's gonna go. So I just want to take this time to encourage you guys that if there's anything in your life that you feel like you need to work on and that you're scared to tackle or challenge, just go for it. It's never gonna stop being scary, but it can change once you start to do something about it. And if you guys want to shoot me any questions or your thoughts about any of this that I talked about, do leave it in the comments down below, and I always try to answer. Isn't this a stunning mascara? It's just perfectly fluttered. Quickly getting to the end of this video because I have a couple more things I want to show you guys. This is so hard to do, but Maybelline sent me 5 shades of their Super Stay Teddy Tint. I'm not joking. These things blew me away. I also have swatches of all of these on my Instagram and TikTok, so head over there and see them swatch on the lips. I don't know what they did with this formula, but it is like this lightweight, sheer, moussey texture that like meshes in with your lips, blurs them. Once they dry, it like does not move. I actually had to look up on TikTok how to get these off my lips because they just stay on. They're like a sheer color that you can build up to like a more opaque tint, but because they're so sheer, when you go in with like 1 or 2 layers, it's somehow like every single shade seems to work with your lips. I don't know how, but if you go on my Instagram or TikTok, you will see that they all look, I mean, pretty much really good. I have a really hard time choosing. The shades that I love most are Knee High, which is like a mauvey shade, and this one was like sold out everywhere, and literally on the day that I was gonna film the swatches on my lips, I went to Walmart and I found it restocked and I bought it right away. So this is the only shade that I purchased myself. And then the other one that I love to death is this shade in July Forever. I am not like a red wearer. I would not dream of wearing a red on a normal day. But this red is something else, and you will see when you go on my, again, my TikTok and Instagram pages. It is just, the tone just makes it look like you have these like naturally blushing red lips. So because I have this kind of like mauve theme going on, I'm gonna go in with the Skinny Dip shade. So this is like about as much as I like to do. Like, it's so sheer, it feels like it's just part of your lips. And then because they're so soft, you can even go in and do your, oh crap. Okay, well, I'll have to take care of that. Essentially, you can just go in and overline the lip a little bit too. And it just looks so natural. Not natural that you overlined your lips, but like, you know what I mean. So that's what it looks like. It doesn't feel heavy on the lips or anything. Like, it just feels so lightweight. Gosh, I really hope I didn't go and mess that up. I can't tell. But I really love this color. It's truly a your lips but better color, especially for like medium brown and olive skin tones because the mauviness really complements our skin tones. So this is my favorite shade. Last but not least, the products that I fell in love with, the NYX Fat Oil Lip Oils. I have these in 6 shades, but the ones that I really love, Chillin' Like a Villain, which is a really beautiful soft pink, and Sprinkle Sprinkle, which is the most perfect like mauvey pink. I'm gonna show you guys Sprinkle Sprinkle today, again keeping with that mauvey theme. I wish I didn't have this color on right now because I could show you just how beautiful the pigment is on this lip oil, but that's the actual pigment of it. I know that I have a color behind, but even when I just have lip liner on, this is the pigment that comes off it, and it's just stunning. And again, it's like that Your Lips But Better color. And Fat Oil absolutely is the most perfect name for these because they feel so freaking juicy and plumping on your lips. They're probably the nicest lip oils I have tried so far. I haven't tried that many. These are my favorites so far. I just want to wipe off and show you guys that Chillin' Like a Villain shade. And this one I kind of just put on the center. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna have to wrap up here because both my phone and light are dying. But thank you guys for hanging out with me and listening to my talk and stories and ramblings. For all of you who stuck through the end, I really appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell so you know when my next videos go up. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!